So this goes to African leaders with an eye on Tanzania and a particular concern to Nigeria as the biggest black nation in the world and the largest country in Africa by population. We all see what's happening across Africa because of bad governance. And it looks to me as if these leaders have not learned that the young people of Africa are becoming more educated and more globally interconnected through the internet. The accessibility of the internet to Africans, especially the Gen Z, and the awareness has tripled over the last 10 years. And leaders don't seem to understand that it's no longer business as usual. Let's take a look at what's happening in East Africa, in Tanzania today. Tanzania is on edge. The nation once prized for its peace and quiet stability now finds itself trembling. And not from war, but from the voices of its own people. It began with laws, small changes. They said, but those changes touched something sacred, the people's right to choose their leaders freely. They stopped allowing people to choose freely. They start banning parties. They start banning protests. When opposition parties cried foul and young people demanded reform, the street filled. Student market women, jobless graduates, they came together not for violence, but for a voice. They wanted one thing: fairness. But the government answered with silence, and then with force, protests were banned. Can you imagine? Internet connections were cut, and the same youth who should be building the nation were instead running from tear gas and bullets. That's typical of African leadership. Bullet and tear gas to disperse people from hearing their voice. By late October 2025, protests had spread across cities. Dar es Salaam, Mwanza, Arusha, hundreds killed, hundreds missing, and yet, amid this chaos, one truth stood tall. The people refused to be afraid anymore. The Gen Z marched to the streets. This is not just a Tanzania story. It's an African story. Because what burns in Tanzania today could easily spread to Kenya, to Ghana, and obviously to Nigeria. Nigeria must not wait for fire to burn before it learns. Our nation, Africa's giant, has walked this same road before. Election after election filled with irregularities and rigging. Young protesters beaten or jailed for speaking up. We all could remember what happened in ElSAS. People were shot. Citizens silenced for daring to ask questions about corruption, poverty, or injustice. From ElSAS to the 2023 election, Nigeria have shown one thing clearly: the people are watching. And when people feel unheard for too long, they do not disappear. What do? They rise against you. I fear for Nigeria. That is what Tanzania teaches us today. That's what Kenya taught us the other day. The same thing we saw in Nepal. That suppression only delays the truth. That injustice, no matter how carefully hidden, eventually breaks through the surface. And that young African, connected, aware, and determined, will not remain silent forever. It's not possible to suppress the people forever. If Nigeria's leaders are listening, this is time to act, not with more soldiers or shutdowns or bannings or raidings, but with reform, accountability, and empathy. INEC has just been, INEC leader has just been changed, the chairman. It is an opportunity for the president to start on a new slate, a clean slate, allow free and fair elections. Because if Nigeria pours over, Nigeria spills over, it's going to be catastrophic for Africa, at least within our West African sub-region. Let them give Nigerians elections they can trust. Let the youth speak without fear. Invest in school, jobs, and dreams, not propaganda. For far too long, the present government has ruled Nigeria with propaganda other than truth and facts. Because no nation can claim peace when its people are in pain. Tanzania's crisis is a warning, a mirror held to every African government that rules by fear instead of service. It reminds us that power is not protection, it is a responsibility. To the people of Tanzania, your courage lights the path. And to Nigeria, the message is clear. To the youth, because a government that listens to its people leads in peace. Let our people learn now, or history will repeat itself louder, bolder, bloodier, and closer to home. Let us pray, act, and speak for better leadership before our silence becomes our undoing. Nigeria has to learn because Tanzania is pouring over. Give Nigerians a free and fair elections, even if you do not win, so that you leave a legacy. Africans youth are awake. Nigerians are very, very awake. Gen Z all over the world are awake and they are aware. And when a generation rises with purpose, no force on earth can hold it back. Not even the barrels of a gun. I will rest my case here for now. Kindly subscribe to this channel, share and like, and press the bell icon so that you can continue to reach to more people and bring you the stories as I go.